Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gore Call, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. For those of you who are watching the move in precious metals, gold, silver, even some of the base metals, and you're trying to find those new companies, but you're looking for the ones that are juniors that are actually currently or imminently going to be generating revenue, then you're going to love this interview with Xali Gold, which trades on the venture and the stock symbol XGC. The company's on the path to having more than one source of revenue in 2023, creating organic growth, and most importantly, positioning itself to self-fund, however you see that, self-fund drilling as flagship past-producing gold project El Oro, which is a prolific high-grade gold-silver system with 8 million ounces of gold equivalent produced from only 2 of over 50 known veins. You can say it's a district scale, it's a district scale gold project. In order to do this, they've acquired gold and silver projects with near surface exploration potential, near-term production potential to create near-term cash flow to develop the flagship. We're going to talk about those because the headline today is Xali Gold signs profit-sharing agreement for the SDA plant in Mexico. Joanne, welcome back. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, George.
Before we get into the details, there are going to be a lot of new people watching this because they're seeing profit sharing. Who's Xali? So let's talk a little bit about about the SDA plant and what that, just a little bit before we get into the details of the agreement.
Sure. The SDA plant was in operation it was built by Vein Minerals and operated until about 2017. And they had profit sharing deals with various mines, smaller mines in the area. It's on the west coast of Mexico, near Mazatlan, just south Mazatlan. And they had revenues of up to $1 million. Well, I guess one year they had $2 million a year. But you know, those are pretty nice revenues. So we did a deal to acquire that in 2020. And it took a little while. And then we were acquiring various other properties to feed it. And that was going very slowly to get things permitted, to get things, you know, to be able to drill off. And then we came up with this new negotiation recently. So we're very happy.
And this is great because this is a binding LOI as a local Mexican mining group. We'll call them MCR, Minera Cinco Reales, but MCR for short. And they operate several mines and processing plants of up to between 150 and 300 tons per day. So this is a really great partner. How big is it for Xali to be able to sign this kind of profit sharing agreement with someone with the likes of MCR?
Well, it's fantastic because it's a one-shop deal, because now I don't have to negotiate the property deals and the various drilling or other, you know, permitting that we needed for various things. And so they've got the mines, they've got the mineral, they've got the expertise to upgrade our plant, because that was the other thing we needed to raise between 100 to 200,000 to upgrade the plant. They're doing all that. And then we have automatic profit sharing, and they have minimum payments to make, which really are just a percentage of what we expect the 15% net profit to be. But at least we know we'll have minimum payments of revenue coming in.
So let's talk about the deal now, the profit sharing. Go into the broad strokes for us. How's the profit sharing work? What kind of revenue are you potentially expecting? I know you can't say for certain, but just to give everyone an idea of perspective. So how are the mechanics, and when do they start rolling in, and what amounts do you foresee potentially for the company in 2023?
Right. So it's 15% of net profits. So what are the net profits going to be? Well, who knows? But they've given us a pro forma cash flow model, which would give us around between 70, 80, 90,000 a month once we're in full operation. Now, it could go beyond that if they expand to 200 tons per day, because we're at 100 tons per day right now, or that's what it's built for. So now what we did in our agreement is we said, okay, give us a minimum of 70% of your pro forma. If you really think, put your money where your mouth is. If you think that we're going to make this kind of profit, you know, once it's all up and running, well, guarantee us at least 70% of that. And so the payments work that small payments before, but up to 10 grand in the 4th month, 20 grand the 5th, 30, 40, and then by 11th month, 50 grand is minimum.
So this puts you in a different stratosphere than most juniors, right, Joanne, that are still, some have got great prospects, they're moving the project along, but very few are, cash flowing. So just that portion alone puts you in rarefied air, don't you think?
Exactly. It puts the plant to work and gets us initially it's keeping the lights on, but eventually it's going to be money that we can use to be exploring our El Oro project. Yeah. And then in addition to that, we have our El Oro tailings deal, which we can talk about after. But
well, you took the words right out of my mouth, because that's my next question, and you don't have my questions in front of you. But I've got here the tailings deal at El Oro with Sun River. That's your second source of revenue. Tell shareholders, what do they need to know? And what's the timing? Same as we went through with the plant there analysis. What's the timing, a ballpark amounts? What does that deal look like? Because that's a second source of revenue, is amazing.
yeah, that's also an NPI, 5% NPI of that deal. But we also get the first $1.5 million that is owing to the municipality. So we negotiated in 2013, if you can believe, the deal with the municipality to have access to their tailings and reprocess them. We get all the gold and silver and pay back an NPI to the municipality. Now, Sun River Gold came in, and then that was Hans von Michaelis, who unfortunately passed away this past year, and his three partners were very experienced engineers, mining engineers in tailings and other processing operations. And so they've been putting up the money to do all the permitting and have started giving us a bit of cash flow. So 15,000 a month and an extra 35 grand every 6 months. But the permits are all in the application, and they've had very extensive discussions with the authorities and have been expecting to get the full permits for some time now. They did have to redo a land deal fairly recently, but that's all done, and that application has gone in about 2 months ago. So they need two different kinds of permits. One is to remove the tailings from the area in the municipality, and the other is to process them outside in a sort of an industrial center, but not that complicated. And so once they get fully permitted, should be up and running. I don't know, I would assume within about 6 months.
And does that start to change the cash flow profile of that as well?
Yeah, we have a guaranteed income on that as well. So
I think you're the only small junior company I know right now has got not one but two source of revenue. And by the way, if you mentioned it, and I don't think we should just gloss over it, Xali also receives the first $1.5 million of the municipality's float. Can you explain that a little bit, and when that how that works?
Yeah, I think that has to be paid within the first 2 years. So, I mean, the full operation is about a 5-year operation for the tailings. And again, no 43-101 studies on it. So, I mean, we do have a 43-101 on the resource. It's 120,000 ounces of gold and 3 million ounces of silver. But as far as the numbers that they've shown us, it would be revenue of between $5 and $10 million during the operation. But they have to pay an NPI to the municipality, and they have to pay 5% NPI to us. The municipality, we've got a tourism agreement with them, and they've been using our underground workings. Now, they took away some aspects of our underground workings that we were using. One is our storage for explosives, and another is they put an elevator in a shaft. So when they did all these modifications, we went back to the municipality and said, well, this will cost us money when we get in operation, so we need compensation for that. So because of that, we get the first $1.5 million that they would get from their NPI to compensate us for.
Got to give you credit. Along the way, you've been able to foresee things, lock them down in advance, and now benefit from them, and all the shareholders benefit from them. And that just
been a while, but we're getting there.
It just shows great contingency thinking at the management team, Joanne, of all you guys. I love contingency thinking like that. That's my lawyer hat, but when I hear contingency thinking like that, I say, okay, that's smart thinking. Now, if we ended the interview right there, we'd say, hey, Joanne, congratulations. Two sources of revenue. Some money's already coming in. It looks like both are going to scale up significantly through 2023. Congratulations. Let's come back on a couple months and see where you're at. But that's not the end of the story, because all of this is for El Oro, right? Your hard rock project. So, you know, you're lining all this up. That's why I said in the intro, you're positioning yourselves to self-fund drilling at Aurora. So how does that looking right now? Based on what you guys are seeing potentially coming in with schedules, performas, how does progress towards Aurora look?
We haven't mapped that out yet. I mean, we know exactly where we want to drill. So if we did a deal with somebody tomorrow to do a decent earn in on El Oro, we could be drilling. Otherwise, we'll wait till this cash flow all comes in and we get it running. But then we can be drilling in not, I mean, other than permitting, which we've always had before, wouldn't take too long to get going. We know where we want to drill. We drilled, we spent $10 million to earn 100% of the project from Goldcorp. And we proved that the gold and silver did not stop just below the old workings. And we've got up to more than 500 meters below old workings with very good gold and silver grades. We've got one particular high grade area where there's 3 structures that have up to 300 grams, over 300 grams silver and 32 grams gold, and in different spots. I mean, it's not, but it's very interesting because there's 3 parallel structures that are all highly mineralized, as I say, gold and silver, maybe gold here, silver here, but it's gold and silver throughout the system. And then there's some kind of vertical component going through because the overlying volcanics are also very well mineralized. We had I believe 175 meters of a gram. And that's the only place we've found 75, that kind of mineralization in the overlying volcanics. So we know that there's a vertical component. Now we took that away and did structural interpretation after all our drilling and discovered that while the veins are northwesterly, the high grade controls are northeasterly. So of course,
for layman people, why is that important?
The thing to understand, well, you need to know where the high grade is, because it's one thing you've got this vein like this, but you've got bonanza zones along it. And so we know it's mineralized throughout, but you want to find where you've got a good pocket of lots of ore. For instance, the second vein, that's on the San Rafael vein. On Veta Verde, San Rafael was already in production by 3 different mines, if you can believe. And another group came along. There's a mountain here hiding the vein. So they're in production from this side. Somebody decided to drive a tunnel, the Dos Estrellas tunnel, to look for another vein. They hit Veta Verde. I think it was 2 years to drive the tunnel, just on hope and a dream. And they hit that and they paid off 2 years of work within a month or 2 because they hit one of these bonanza zones. So it's the bonanza zones that get everybody excited and get your payback quickly. But of course, you're going to mine, along the structure, but you're going to make your really good money in the bonanza zones. So we know where we've got these 3 areas. That's on the Samara Tooth sitting above it. That's our target. We've got to get back in there. And it's a bit awkward because there's younger volcanics masking it and the drilling's deep, but that's where we want to drill. And why not? Because we're going to find, we believe, the bonanza pocket.
And it's got historical there already, right? So it's not, so yeah, let's make sure everyone remind everybody of that. You guys are chomping at the bit, obviously. Last question for you. Do you foresee these cash flows, the middle of the road, if it's not the optimal, the lowest amount, but if the cash flows from the other 2 sources will they be sufficient in order for you to do what you need to accomplish in terms of drilling at El Oro, or do you somehow collateralize that cash flow to get a loan for $5 million or $10 million, something like that, so you can go at it even more aggressively? How does that potentially look? Or maybe you haven't thought about that yet.
No, we have thought about it. And yes, it should be enough money if we can get both things going at once, or we save up. But in addition to that, I think that the market, we've been in really tough years for a gold market for juniors. And so I think we would be able to raise money once we get the cash flow going as well and get the excitement of that, or get a partner in, or as you say, some kind of debt situation, although exploration isn't often funded by debt. But so yes, the answer to that is yes, I do believe we'll have enough cash flow alone to do our own drilling eventually here. But having said that, we should have enough excitement in the whole company to be able to raise the funds at a decent price.
Well, it isn't often funded by debt. Exploration, that is. Mining is because of the cash flow associated.
Exactly.
But exploration isn't because typically George Calm Mining doesn't have any cash flow, so I can't go borrow money to, but you might be in that very unique position that I've never seen before. Last question. Do you think you'd be able to get back to El Oro in 2023 on the balance of probabilities? Again, I'm not looking to give you an exact, we're not actually making a market call, but
should be applying for our drilling permits and be ready to go. Yes. But whether we can actually drill in 2023, I'm a very conservative person, being a PGO and all that. I wouldn't want to promise that, but definitely we'll be working on our drilling permits. Yes.
well, one thing for sure is we know that Xali is going to look significantly different on December 31st, 2023, than it looked on January 1st, 2023, correct?
I would certainly believe so. Yes.
Well, Joanne, congratulations to you and the team. It's amazing. What I really love is you guys went out and told the market, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to acquire near-term potential revenue generating projects. And all that is in order to be able to go and really do what we got to do at El Oro, our past producing gold project El Oro. And you're on the cusp of it right now. Short of some kind of a black swan event, you're there. So that's really impressive. I don't think I've really seen anybody plan out something so unique. I've never seen a company talk about not one, but two possible, source of revenue and actually achieve it and then head for the big third element of the company. So I can't wait to have you back when we have even more clarity and more things going on. But until then, Joanne, on behalf of all shareholders, including us, congratulations.
Thanks very much, George.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening to my podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, your favorite podcast platform. To Joanne Fries, she's president and CEO of Xali Gold, trades in Canada under XGC. For those new to the story, because you see this profit sharing agreement and wondering who are these guys with the profit sharing agreement, you want to know more about the company, start your due diligence at Agoracom, because there's a lot going on here. This is not your standard, George got a gold project, we're going to drill it and hope for the best. So many moving parts, so many successful moving parts of this. We've got it all laid out for you there so you can understand, get a good 1,000-foot view. And then with that knowledge in position, head over to the Xali website, do your deep dive due diligence, and hopefully today you discovered your next amazing small cap resources company. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next time.
Thanks, George.
Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel and never missing another great Agoracom small cap video.